Good morning, children. Next topic is use of functions to do calculations. That is, here we have used just operators to do calculations. Now there are certain functions which can be used for performing calculations. So let us see how we can use functions for calculations. There are different functions for different applications. So when we use functions, we have to provide the function name, then inside the bracket we have to provide for which all columns we are applying that function. So the different functions are sum. So the sum function can be given as equal to sum the column names. Give the column names, then close the bracket. So the sum function add the values combined in a range of cells. Suppose if we want to add the values of these columns, that is D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, then we can give this columns inside the sum function. So sum function can be written as sum, then in bracket the range of the columns. Either we can give all the column names, or we can give the range of the column name, that is D2 colon D7, that is from D2 to D7. Then next function is average function. So the average function returns the average of the values inside the function, average of the values of columns which are given inside this function. Then the max function. The max function returns the maximum value of from the given columns. Then min function returns the minimum value from all the columns. Then count function counts the number of cells within a range of cells. Counts the number of cells within a range of cell. Now let us see how we can calculate the sum of three columns A1, B1 and C1. So we can give, either we can write it as sum of A1 comma B1 comma C1, that is all the three cells will be added up, or we can write it using range, that is A1 colon C1, that is from A1 to C1 all the cells will be considered. Then we can consider it as, if we want to add cells from A1 to C1 and we want to add another cell value, that is B2, so we can give it as A1 colon C1, that is all the cells from A1 to C1 and another cell value of cell B2. Then we can add cells from B1 to C2, cells from B1 to C2, all the cells from B1 to C2. Then the sum of cells in the range of cells from A1 to A3 and C1 to C3. So we will see, let us see how we can do it. So here I have created a table, and here we can add a column to find the total. So total. Now we can use the sum function here. So here put equal to, then click on fx, and here you can see different functions. So we need the sum function, so click on sum, then OK. Then for which all columns do you need to find the sum? From B2. From B2 to F2. From B2 to F2 we need to find the sum. Sorry, from B3, that is from B3 to F3. So this is F3. So here it gives the output of sum as 354, and now when we drag this, the output for sum value will be obtained. Now we can find the average also. So for average we have the AVG, average function. So equal to, click here, then you can see the average. Click on that, and for which all values you want to find the average. So here it is written B3, that is B3 to only F3 we need, but here it is there G3, that is it considered total also, but we don't need to consider total, so write it as F3, then OK. So it computed the average for single row. Now we can drag this, then for all the rows the average value will be, computed. Now we can find out the min and max values. Min, max, that is for each student which is the maximum value, in which subject they got the maximum marks, and in which subject, or which is the minimum marks for each student. So for finding minimum we have the function is equal to min. So click here, min, in bracket, for which all rows you want to find the minimum. You can either select like this. So which value is the minimum? Here 56 is the minimum. Now click here and drag like this. So minimum marks for each of the student, their minimum marks will be shown here. Now for max marks, click here, equal to, either you can click on the functions and select the max, or you can directly write max. Okay, then from which all columns we need to find the maximum value? From B3 to F3. Okay, then for each student's maximum marks will be shown. Now count will just count the number of values. So from B3 to F3, how many values are there? 5 values, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just it will count the number of values. So for each of the student there will be 5 subjects. Then we can find out the total marks of each student and the highest, that is the maximum scorer. For that we have to apply the max function on this total column. So we can find out the maximum value to find the topper of the, so who is getting the maximum value, that is subject wise maximum and min can be computed. So max, min, so I am writing here because for each maths which is the maximum mark, for English which is the maximum mark, for each subject we have to find which is the maximum mark. So we will write here equal to max equal to max of that is from B3 to B8, B3 to B8. So which is the maximum who got which is the maximum marks in maths? It is 97. So by dragging it, we will get the maximum marks in each subject. Now when we drag this, we will get the maximum marks in total also, who got the which is the maximum marks. Now for minimum, again is equal to min, and inside the min we have to specify the rows. These. Click enter. So 67 is the minimum mark in maths. So in each subject the minimum marks is shown like this. Next is formatting the worksheet. Now the cells hold any type of data in the spreadsheet. The cell data can be formatted using formatting toolbars or cell formatting window. It also possible to format the cell using format cells dialog box, or the format cell dialog box can be opened using format cells using the format menu, or from the context menu opened through right clicking the cell. The various options in the format cells dialog box will appear, and let us see what are the different options of formatting the cell. First one is font. So font applies different font types on a worksheet. Then font size applies different font sizes. Then bold makes the selected text bold. Then italic italicizes the selected text. Then underline underlines the selected text. Then left alignment aligns the text left. Then center alignment aligns the text to the center. Then right alignment aligns the text in a cell to right. Then increase decimal places. It shows more precise value by showing more decimal places. That is, when we have large number of values after the decimal, then the value become more accurate, or its precision increases. So we can increase the decimal places, or we can decrease the decimal places. That is, it shows less precise decimal values. Then use of dialog boxes to format values. The format cells dialog box in the toolbar can be used to find more about formatting a cell or range of cell. You can open this format cell dialog box by pressing the shortcut key Ctrl+1. Formatting a range of cells with decimal places. The division of different numbers may result in varied decimal places in the quotient. In such cases, it is necessary to format the number to be fixed number of decimal places. So, for that, the following steps are to be required. First, select the range of cells. Then, open the Format Cells dialog box. Then, click the Number tab and select the number. Then, change the decimal places as required and click OK. So, before formatting, if our data were like this, that is 1.6, 1.657, like this, a large value after decimal, then if we want to format it to a constant value, that is after decimal place, after decimal point, there should be 2 decimal values or 3 values after decimal. So likewise, if we want to format, we can apply formatting the decimal places. Now you can see in the average the decimal places are, there are decimal places. So we can click on Format Cells, then you can select Number. Then there are large number of numbers and you can see that how many decimals should be there after the decimal place. So we can give any number of values after the decimal place. So by just selecting which number of how many numbers should be there after the decimal point. So here if we give 0, then the decimal point will be removed, and if we give 1, after the decimal point only 1 digit will be there. So if I give 2, 2 digits will be there after the decimal point. So I have used here 2. Click OK. Now first it was 7.8, now it has been changed to 7.80, and after formatting, all the format will be applied to all the cells. For that we have to drag the cell till the last row. Likewise we can apply formatting. Now if we want to change the font, go to Home, then here like in Microsoft Word you have seen the different fonts are available and you can select any of the font. Also you can increase the font size, then you can make it bold, underlined, italics, underlined, then increase the font size or decrease the font size. Then you can give colors, background colors, or for the font you can give colors. Font colors can be given. Then this is top alignment. In our Microsoft Word we have seen only just these 3 things. The 4 things were there, but here 6 alignments are there. That is top alignment, that is all the text will be aligned to the top of the cell. Top alignment, then middle alignment and bottom alignment. Then here left alignment, middle alignment, center alignment, and then right alignment. So if this is a small see here you can see when up top alignment means the text will be placed on the top, middle means in the middle, then bottom means in the bottom. Now left aligned, then it will be, here it is in the bottom but left aligned. Now in the bottom center aligned, then in bottom right aligned. Now if we want to give the text in a diagonal form, you can give like this. This can be applied. So the text will be in diagonal. So different formats are there. If you want to give in vertical, now you can give indentation to the text. Increase or decrease the indentation from the margin. You can increase the indentation or decrease the indentation. Now you can see here the student name in this text, in this cell is coming, is not shown completely, so we have to increase the size here. But we can make the whole text to be filled in this single cell itself. For that we can use the wrap text feature. So the wrap text feature will fill the text in the same cell itself. So the student name, the cell of data is filled in the same cell itself. Now if we want to increase, if we want to give headings, then we can give headings like this: class 9th marks. So we can merge all the cells so that it can be aligned in the center. So merge and center, so it will be merged, all the cells will be merged and the text will be placed in the center. Then merge across. Now if we insert a entire row, then we can give merge across, that is in between the two, inside the table, in between the two partitions are being made. Partitions are being made by just merging the cells across. Then if we want to merge, cells, we can use merge cells, and if we want to unmerge the cell, we can select that particular cell and click on unmerge cells. Next is formatting a range of cells to be seen as labels. In a telephone number, the STD code starts with 0. But while entering the telephone number with STD code, the first digit 0 disappears from the telephone number. This is because the telephone number is stored as a numeric value and the numeric value does not have a preceding 0. So if you make this numeric value as text, then the complete telephone number will appear with preceding 0. So format the whole range of cells consisting of telephone number as text. So for that, we have to select the range of cells, then format the cell dialog box, then click the number tab and select the text and click OK. So suppose here we are adding a column tel number. So we have entered the telephone numbers. So if we add here 0, you can see the text disappears because when we enter a digit, it will be automatically of number type. It will be considered as number type. So in a number type, 0 has no value when it is stored, when it is on the first position. So you can see when I put 0 here and I put enter, then the 0 disappears. Now to format this, we need, if we want, so click on format cells, then click on select it as text, then click OK. Now I told you before that all the text by default will be aligned to left side and numbers will automatically be aligned to right side. Now to apply the format, drag this. Now if I put 0 here, you can see 0 is present there because it is aligned as text. Now formatting of a cell range as scientific. So in a spreadsheet, by default the date format is in American format, that is month, date, year, year. That is M for month, D for date and year for year. So the date 12/9/2018 means that it is the 9th day of December. So we usually write the day part first, then the month part and then the year part. But by default in our spreadsheet, the format is month, day, year. So we can change this format. So in a spreadsheet application, the user can change this date in many different formats. That is, there are different types of date formats available and we can select any of the date format. So select the range of cells, then open the format cells dialog box, then click the number tab and select the date category, then select the date format and click OK. Now here we will give date of birth. column for date of birth of students. So here we will write the date of birth as 13/01 13/1/1990. Now we can change the date format, that is format cells, select date. Which type of date you want can be selected, any format. So here it is already 14/03/2001, that is for March. Our Indian format, date format is there, so we have already selected that type of format. We can use any format available. So in which format you want, and then click OK. Next, to show the time. So time is indicated in a computer as in hour, minute and second form. So the common format of this is hours, minute, second, AM or PM. So HH means hours, MM means minutes and SS means second. So we can format this time as, select the cell range, then open the format cells dialog box, click the number tab, then select the time category, select the category time that should be displayed, same as we have seen in date. So time, select, so we will display time as 11:30:57 seconds. So we can give the time as, go to format cells, right click and go to format cell. So you can select any of the time formats, whether it is AM or PM. Any of the time formats can be selected. Next, this we have seen how to align the data of a cell. Next is speeding up data entry. The most important ability of spreadsheet is to drag and drop the contents of one cell to another by using a mouse. So Calc, which is a spreadsheet of LibreOffice, includes several other tools for automating input, especially of a repetitive task. They include the fill tool, selection list, and the ability to input information into multiple sheets of the same document. So let us see how we can speed up our data entry. First, using the fill handle. So the Calc fill handle tool is used to fill the next cell till you drag it with the next preceded predefined value. For example, if you want to fill the numbers in the sequence of 1, 2, 3, or days of the week as Monday, Tuesday, or month from Jan, Feb, etc., then enter the first two values, then select them and drag the next cell till you wish to continue the sequence. For number series, type the numbers 1, 2 in 2 consecutive cells. Then drag it. So if you want to give roll numbers to children, insert the column. So here if you want to give roll number, so 1, for typing numbers from 1 to how much you need, just type the 2 consecutive values, that is 1 and 2. Then select this and keep the mouse cursor like this. When it is of this plus shape, left click and drag how much numbers you need. So 1, 2, then after that 3, 4, 5, 6, till this the numbers are printed. Now if you want to print Monday, Tuesday, now select this and drag how much you want. So if you drag like this, another it will be repeated. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this is repeated. Now if we want to print month, Jan, Feb, so select and drag. So all the months will be shown. So if I write the full month, name of the month fully, then when we drag that, it will be displayed as it is in full. So just write the 2 names. If it is in consecutive order, then drag it. Then copying a formula. So if you wish to apply the same formula to the number of cells in the rows or columns, you need not enter the formula again and again in each cell. A formula can be copied. It saves the time and effort in case of long and complex formula. It reduces chance of error also. So here and all we have did just the drag and drag method. That is just we have did the average formula for only for a single row. Then by dragging we have computed for the rest of the rows. So this makes the computation task very easy using the spreadsheet. Then we can use the copy and paste method. That is, select the cell, copy the contents of the selected cell and paste it. So for copying and pasting, we should always use shortcut keys. That is, for copying Ctrl C and for pasting Ctrl V. Suppose if we want to copy the contents of this table to another sheet, then Ctrl C, that is for copying, and paste it in sheet 3. So select sheet 3, then Ctrl V. So we can easily copy and paste the data from one sheet to another or from one document to another. Now next is the fill handle of a cell. So the small black square in the bottom right corner of the selected cell or range is called a fill handle. So when a cell is selected, you can see here a square. This square is called the fill handle. So click on that, and when you drag, the cells till which you have dragged will be filled with certain data. Then use of fill handle for copying formula. So we have seen how we can drag and copy the same formula and apply it for different rows. The next is referencing. So referencing is the way to refer the formula or function from one cell to the next cell along the row or column. So there are three types of referencing. First is relative referencing, then mixed referencing, and then absolute referencing. So referencing is a way to refer the formula or function from one cell to the next cell along the row or column. So three types of referencing are relative referencing, mixed referencing, and absolute referencing. So first let us see what is relative referencing. So when you drag any formula in any row or column in any direction, the formula gets copied in the new cell with relative reference. Almost all spreadsheet applications use relative referencing by default. So for computing sum and average, we have used relative referencing. That is, we have copied the data of formula of one cell and applied it to all the other cells. So we have did the formula for only for C3 and G3, but copied it by dragging and applied it to all the other cells. So it is called relative referencing. That is, we are copying the same formula and applying it to other cells by dragging this. Now the next type of referencing is mixed referencing. So in mixed referencing, the $sign is used before the row number or column to make it constant. So in mixed referencing, the $sign is used before row number or column name to make it constant. Now modify formula in cell J2, that is for column GR total. We are modifying the column in cell J2 as H2 plus C $14. We are putting a $sign before the row number or column name to make it constant. So here we are putting a $sign before the row number, that is for 14. Row number 14, and drag it downward from cell J2 to J11, from J2 to J11. The cell address C14 is constant. That is, the address for C2 is not, the value in C2 is not changed. So the output of this activity is, it is observed that in column J from cell J2 to J11 in the formula, the value of C14 is constant. The value of C14 will not change. So the cell address H2 is relatively changing from H2 to H11, but cell C14 remains constant. This is mixed referencing, in which one cell address name is variable and one cell address is constant. So here we have added the, for finding the GR total, the value of C14 is being added in each cell, that is this C for each marks of Hindi, the same marks for C14, that is for 14th cell, what is the value is being added to all the cells, that is the value of the C1, C2 etc. is not considered, only the value C14 is being considered. So when I show this with an example, it will get. Suppose for finding the total, here if we consider, we use 100, then for finding the total, that is C3 to which column should be made constant, that is C2, comma C $2, that is the column C4 should be a constant. Now let us apply this to all the. Now what happened, this instead of adding all the values, 100 is being added to each of the column. Instead of adding 67, 100 is being added to insert one column. So if we apply this to this column, then it will be so total is equal to now if we apply this as equal to sum in bracket, add all the and comma, which column should be, which cell should be constant C4. Suppose I want to add, don't want to add the marks of other maths marks, only this 100 should be added. So comma C $, $4. Now you can see it was 354, and instead of that, what is being added, 100 is being added. So we should not consider C3, we should only consider from D3 to G3, and which extra should be added, the column C4 should be a constant. 387 is being added. So this is called mixed referencing. Then next one is absolute referencing. In absolute referencing, a dollar symbol is used before the column name as well as row number to make it constant in any formula. For example, $C, $12, $D, $5, etc. In this case, even if you drag your formula in any direction, the cell name remains constant. This type of referencing is used in higher classes. For you, it is not there. So just this A1 is relative referencing. Then $A1 is mixed referencing. That is, dollar sign is given before the column name. Then $1 is a mixed referencing because dollar symbol is given before the row number. Then $1, that is for before the row number and column name, the reference dollar symbol is given, so it is called absolute referencing. The next one, creation of charts using spreadsheets. So we can use charts to represent a data in the spreadsheet. So different types of charts are column charts, that is comparing classes of data items in group or group comparison. Then bar chart, then line chart, then pie chart, then XY scatter chart. So these are the different charts available in our spreadsheet. So we can represent our data with the help of these charts. So let us use the worksheet to create a column chart. So first select the range of the data, then insert chart, select the type of chart which you want to represent the data. So suppose you have to select the marks of all the students and delete this column. Then select student name, select the data based on which you have to draw the graph, then insert any of the graph you can select. So insert any of the graphs. So I will select the cylindrical graph. So you can see each of the child name is represented by different colors. It will by default create the graph. Now this is the maths marks of each child, then English marks of each child, then science marks, social, Malayalam, then the total marks of each children. So by looking at the graph you can see Anu is getting the highest marks because it represents not Anu, Minu. Minu is getting the highest marks. Then the average marks of each child. Now if you want to represent the marks based on a single child, so you can use select the data, then insert a line chart. So this shows what is the change of the marks for in each subject. Since I have selected total and average, that is why this high peak is coming. If it is not there, then only a single line will be there. Peak will not be there, that because it is a total also is selected, that is why this high peak is there. So any of the, suppose now we can select this and the total marks. So based on this, if we write insert a pie chart. So pie chart based on the total marks of different students. So the different students and their total marks. So based on the pie itself, we can identify the larger the pie, the larger the value. So Minu is getting the highest marks. Now based on this itself, another type of chart can also be used, that is area chart, scatter chart. So many charts are there, and you can use any of the charts by selecting the particular data which you want to load. Okay, thank you children. This chapter is over.